Hey, what's going on, guys? With the upcoming release of Batman v Superman, I thought we would spend some time today focusing on everyone's favorite superhero, the Dark Knight. Batman has such a rich history that explores the human psyche and the true meaning of vigilantism. In this video, we are going to be covering the legacy of Batman. Batman is a fictional superhero appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics. Batman was a character created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger, originally dubbed the Batman. Over the years, the character has had other names such as the Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader, and the world's greatest detective. Batman's secret identity is a billionaire playboy by the name of Bruce Wayne, owner of Wayne Enterprises. The history of how Batman became a superhero stems from the tragic past of Bruce Wayne. Bruce and his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, go out one night to see the latest film, The Mark of Zorro. After the film, Bruce and his parents leave the theater and walk down an isolated alley, later known to be called Crime Alley. A mugger pulls a gun and murders Bruce's parents in cold blood. Every Batman story makes use of this heinous crime, as it is the one event that helps shape Bruce into becoming Batman. As Bruce is an orphan, he is raised by the family butler named Alfred Pennyworth, who becomes a mentor and surrogate father to Bruce. Over the developing years of Bruce's life, he struggles to live every day, as his anger and rage are what drives him to do crazy things, like starting fights in school to numb the pain, to randomly disappear into the night, and to explore the foundations of his home at Wayne Manor. The tragic event of his parents' death is what drove him to train his body into physical perfection and to later fight crime in Gotham City. Batman has become a pop culture icon and is recognized all over the world. The character has not only been a presence in the comic books, but also the films, television shows, and merchandise. Batman is considered to be one of the greatest heroes in history. And here's the one reason why. Batman is the only superhero who does not have superpowers. He is a real person with flaws and gadgets that help enhance him to become a great crime fighter. Because the character of Batman feels so real to many people, he is considered to be more relatable. That's why people all over the world read Batman comics and see the films, because Batman essentially has become a symbol for superhero fanatics. Darth Vader is a universal character that people all over the world will know and recognize, and so is Batman. Batman has existed in 3 different ages concerning the comic books. He first appeared during the Golden Age in Detective Comics number 27, as already being a crime fighter in Gotham City. Other famous characters in the Batman universe first appeared in the Golden Age, such as Police Commissioner James Gordon, Robin the Boy Wonder as Batman's famous sidekick, and also Batman's arch nemesis, the Joker. The Golden Age was the most ripe time in comic book history, as people all over America couldn't wait to get their hands on the latest crime-fighting story. Entering the Silver Age, a lot more Batman villains emerged, such as the Riddler and the Penguin. The Silver Age also saw the formation of the Justice League. The Justice League of America was a superhero team started by Batman, Superman, and also Wonder Woman. The Silver Age also saw the creation of alternate worlds like Earth 1 and Earth 2. The Silver Age led into the 1980s and stopped somewhere between 1980 and 1986. From the 1950s to the mid-80s, Batman was always treated as a dark character, but he still had a cheesiness to him, as did most other superheroes. However, from the late 80s until now, Batman has become something incredibly dark and sinister, something that nightmares are made of. In 1987, comic book writer Frank Miller told Batman's origin in a more realistic and gritty way that people had never seen. Because of Batman Year One, movies and future comics have based Batman off of Frank Miller's Batman Year One. The modern age of Batman shows the character at his most raw and visceral state of being. Batman is better than ever in the modern age. Batman's first appearance on screen came in the 1960s when campy actor Adam West appeared on the television show.
Batman to Coast Guard. Batman to Coast Guard. There's a drifting submarine 2 miles east of Sandy Nose Lightship. It's filled with human jetsam.
Yes, kids, that's what Batman used to look like. Then in 1989, Batman made his first feature film debut in Tim Burton's Batman. Batman was based off a Miller storyline from Year One, and we see his time on screen the way Miller intended it to be. Michael Keaton played a wonderfully dark and sinister Batman, and Jack Nicholson nailed it as the Joker, Batman's nemesis. The success and popularity of Tim Burton's film is what really pushed the Batman character into pop culture with all the merchandising. Then in 1992, Burton followed up with a sequel titled Batman Returns, which also was a smash hit, but the film garnered a lot of criticism from parents because they thought the movie was too dark and disturbing for children. Batman Returns brought a weirdness to the character that people had never seen, with the creation of the cold-blooded Penguin and the sexy femme fatale of Catwoman. When Warner Brothers Pictures decided to follow up with another Batman film, they wanted to take the character a different route that echoed more so the Adam West days. Batman Forever showed the character in a lighter tone, while the look of the film felt very 90s. A lot of neon colors littered the film, making Batman to be more glamorous. Not only was the film completely miscast, but the actors didn't really understand who Batman was. Joel Schumacher directed the movie and made the sequel to Batman Forever, titled Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin is not only an abomination of the Batman character, but it's actually one of the most important Batman films for this reason. The fans hated it. They absolutely hated it. And because the movie was so bad, it led to a new era of Batman. George Clooney and everyone involved, especially Arnold Schwarzenegger, phoned it in, creating the worst adaptation of the character possible.
Can you feel it coming? The icy cold of space.
People wanted to forget the Adam West Batman and put it out of their minds. When 9/11 happened, it seemed to put a damper on the kinds of movies that people wanted to see. In a post-9/11 world, people wanted a darker, more realistic version of characters. And in 2005, an unknown director named Christopher Nolan gave audiences a Batman that we had never seen before.
Where were the other drugs going?
I never knew. I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me!
Batman Begins is an origin of the character stemming mostly from Frank Miller's comic Batman Year One. We see how Bruce Wayne becomes Batman, and we see him living in a modern world utilizing modern technology. It was a show of what Batman would look like if he were living right now in the present. Batman Begins was a huge success and led to the creation of what most people consider to be the greatest comic book film of all time. Christopher Nolan's sequel followed up Batman Begins, and the sequel was entitled The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is more gangster film than superhero, and we see Batman's greatest nemesis come into play with Heath Ledger's version of the Joker. The film was a cat and mouse type story, with action spectacle that we had never seen in a movie before. This film pushed the boundaries for violence, and every comic book film since the movie came out has tried to match its success and its gritty, realistic tone. A few years later, the final installment of Nolan's Batman trilogy came out with The Dark Knight Rises. It was the perfect ending to the best comic book trilogy in film history. Jumping around a bit, let's take a look at the villains of Batman. Called the Rogues Gallery, Batman has the greatest and most well-known villains from any comics. Batman has the Riddler, the Penguin, Two-Face, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Ra's al Ghul, Harley Quinn, the Scarecrow, Bane, and more famously, the Joker. The Joker is Batman's arch-nemesis and is the most popular of all comic book villains. The Joker is a complete psychopath who dresses as a clown, causing chaos and mischief for the Dark Knight. Dubbed the Clown Prince of Crime, the Joker has had many origin stories, the most famous being the Red Hood storyline, where the Joker falls into a vat of chemicals which alters his physical appearance, making him look like a clown. The visual heritage of the Joker comes from an old 1928 film called The Man Who Laughs, starring actor Conrad Veidt, whose disfigured face gives him a perpetual grin. Comic book artists were inspired by this character, and ever since, the Joker is known for his facial disfigurement as well as his signature Glasgow smile. The first Joker we saw was from Cesar Romero in the Adam West Batman series, and then Jack Nicholson became the first actor to portray the Joker in Tim Burton's Batman film. The success of Batman and the Joker led to the Batman animated series, in which actor Kevin Conroy voiced Batman, and Mark Hamill, who played Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, did the voice of the Joker in such an iconic way. Hamill played the Joker for almost 2 decades, giving the character charisma, charm, and a sinister voice. Then Christopher Nolan took the character in a direction that we had never seen before. Heath Ledger's version of the Joker is the most scary, realistic, psychotic, and also the most beloved. Audiences really resonated with his version of the Joker, and some argue that the film would not have been as successful if Ledger did not play him.
He turns to me and he says, "Why so serious?" He comes at me with the knife. "Why so serious?" He sticks the blade in my mouth. "Let's put a smile on that face."
Unfortunately, Ledger tragically died before the film's release, but he won a posthumous Oscar for a supporting actor that year at the Academy Awards because of his unrelenting portrayal as a villainous Joker. The Joker has inspired some of the best Batman graphic novels like The Killing Joke, written by Alan Moore, and more recently DC's New 52, Death in the Family. The Joker, next to Batman, is the most compelling comic book character of all time, and whenever audiences get a new Joker story, they flock to read it or see it on the big screen. So where are we now with this character? Well, after Christopher Nolan completed his Batman trilogy, Warner Brothers wanted to emulate what Disney and Marvel were doing with their comic book franchise. DC wanted to create a shared universe with all of their characters. So in 2013, director Zack Snyder kicked off the DCEU with the new Superman origin story, Man of Steel. The film was a massive success, and even though there were many detractors from the fan community, Zack Snyder based his Superman on Nolan's version of Batman. He made Superman dark, edgy, and relatable, which we had never seen from Superman before. And because Marvel has been making so many successful superhero films for so many years, Warner's decided to reverse engineer their universe. In March of 2015, they came out with Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. This movie essentially introduces us to a new era of Batman, with actor Ben Affleck portraying the billionaire playboy and also the Dark Knight, while also continuing on with the story set up in Man of Steel. The film is partially based off of Frank Miller's comic, The Dark Knight Returns, in which Batman and Superman have a fight to the death.
Next time they shine your light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. Bury it. Consider this mercy.
Tell me. Do you bleed? You will.
The film also is supposed to set up the Justice League of America by introducing Wonder Woman and Aquaman. This new era of Batman, while still dark, is taking more of its roots on Batman being a comic book hero rather than a realistic person that we saw in Nolan's Batman films. Snyder and company are utilizing some of the best Batman stories of the late 90s and 2000s to give modern audiences a character that resonates with them in this day and age. Ben Affleck looks like the best Batman that we have ever seen, and it will be interesting to see where they actually take this character. Actor Jared Leto is playing this new version of the Joker in the DC film Suicide Squad, which is introducing the Batman villains to help set up the next standalone Batman film. I actually can't wait to see these two actors clash on screen together. Batman has not only inspired films and comics, but also a vast amount of merchandising, television shows, and also video games. Batman is a world-class crime fighter for the 21st century, and audiences have related to this character for more than 50 years. Batman is someone who has developed a rich and vast history over time, and it's continuing to do so. No longer is Batman hidden in the shadows of Gotham City, because he has become a symbol all over the world. Anyway, that's it for us today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it. I cannot wait to see how Batman v Superman turns out. If you like this video, click the like button right here. Also, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and also check out our website, filmschoolhooligans.com. See you next time.